Alright, so, got a little fanfiction review here, and this one is kind of one I've already done before, but I decided to, since I've got new subscribers and all that, I decided to, re-review it. And the fanfiction I'm re-reviewing is called The Nightmare After Nightmare Night. So, this is a, get this, My Little Pony and Nightmare Before Christmas crossover. Yeah, I know, we've seen, My Little Pony crossover with everything in terms of fanfiction, from Attack on Titan to Dead Space to everything else in between. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of My Little Pony and Nightmare Before Christmas, and this one is probably not just one of the few, but also one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite fanfictions in general. It's short, sweet, and to the point, and has a great story for it. So the story is basically, it takes place right after the episode, Nightmare, what's the episode called? The Nightmare Night episode where Luna, tried to reconnect with the people of Ponyville. That episode. And, yeah, it takes place right at the end of that episode, and Spike suddenly says, "Where's Rarity?" Because in that episode, Rarity was not seen anywhere. So this basically takes place with Rarity she's been trying all night during Nightmare Night to get a costume together, and now she's got, she's trying to finish her costume, wanders into the forest, and stumbles into the nightmare door, the Halloween Town door. So from that, we get the rest of the main five going in after her. However, when they went in costume, and I love this little element of the story. I absolutely love this little tidbit of the story, where whatever costume you're wearing when you go into Nightmare Night, not Nightmare Night, but into Halloween Town, whatever costume you're wearing as you go into Halloween Town, you become that costume. So, basically, Applejack becomes a scarecrow, Fluttershy becomes a tree in the most hilarious way possible, Twilight literally becomes a younger Star Swirl because she loses the beard when they're getting sucked in, so she becomes like a Dungeons and Dragons version of Star Swirl the Bearded. Rainbow Dash becomes literally a Shadow Bolt. I'm trying to think of who else? Of Pinkie Pie. Oh yeah, Pinkie Pie becomes a chicken. Yep. So meanwhile, Rarity is not really under threat, because that's the thing, there's no real villain. Well, there technically is a villain here, and, points, because this story came out before the Nightmare Rarity story, and I'll explain why. Rarity was trying to become the Pumpkin Queen, however her costume persona took over, and now she's taken over Halloween Town, and Jack's gone missing. Jack and Sally tried to help her because they realized, oh no, you don't have a costume for your own version of Halloween? That's terrible. We'll help you. So, yeah, you've got the main five trying to stop Rarity, who's now done a hostile takeover, quote-unquote hostile takeover of Halloween Town, and yeah, it's an adventure from there. Meanwhile, back in Ponyville, Luna is forced to keep night going. She's keeping the night going because come daybreak, they learn from Zecora that come daybreak, the door will be lost forever. So Luna is making a quote-unquote encore version of Nightmare Night, and meanwhile, to keep everyone entertained, she said, yeah, we're doing an encore version of Nightmare Night, and she and Luna, Zecora, and Spike have to do everything in their power to keep everyone occupied. And it's hilarious. It is completely hilarious of seeing Luna, Zecora, and Spike try their hardest to keep everything going and keep Celestia in the dark about it. It's hilarious because it's the last three characters you'd expect to see working together, and it's it's nothing short of hilarious. There's some hilarious moments in here. There's a great Dungeons and Dragons joke from from Twilight in her younger Star Swirl form. There's also a few hilarious gags with Fluttershy now literally becoming a tree, and yeah, there's just great dialogue. Like, all the characters, I love it when fanfiction does this, not just crossover fanfiction, but fanfiction in general, where you can hear the character in their voice, as you're reading this. You can, like, everyone's in character here on both sides of the spectrum. No Oogie Boogie here, because this takes place after the events of Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's actually funny because there's a scene where Jack is actually contemplating not to, try to do his whole Christmas fiasco over again, but actually he's thinking about going through the doors again to get some inspiration. Because he still wants to keep doing Halloween, he's just feeling like, man, I got nothing for this year. Maybe if I go through one of the doors, that'll help. But then he runs into Rarity, and I don't want to say what happens next, but let's just say Jack gets his ideas. But yeah, I kind of feel like, this is an all-around good story. It's more of a Rarity story. I would have loved to seen Luna in Halloween Town. I would have loved to absolutely see Luna go around in Halloween Town. And actually, there's an interesting connection between Halloween Town and Canterlot. I don't want to say how it is, what the connection is, but it's a hilarious little ending scene, and I love it, and I was like, that makes so much fucking sense. I actually said that, I was like, that makes so much sense if these two universes lived side by side. It was, just it's an all-around fun story. There's no gore, there's no nothing, there's some action, and like I said, this is a 3-chapter story. It's literally going by the beginning, middle, and end story formula, and I think it's great. I think it's an absolutely great story. So, it's a great Halloween story also, so if you haven't read The Nightmare After Nightmare Night, go check it out. If you're a Rarity fan, if you're a Luna fan, or you just love Nightmare Before Christmas, go check this out. I highly recommend it. So once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.